Whitlock, do you have an issue with Meyer taking a shot at Tom Herman?
Yes, because I think he's making way too much of Herman's comments.
Yeah.
I think that there was no shot at the players there in Herman's comments. It's about a culture you're trying to change and about an overall toughness and discipline that you're trying to put inside of a franchise or a program. Look, Urban Meyer and Jim Harbaugh, and there's a handful of coaches that instantly when they show up, things are going to change. That's a special gift.
Yep.
Not every coach has that special gift. For some, it takes a bit of a process. And so I think Urban Meyer's a little out of line here and just doing some good recruiting.
Yeah, this felt personal to me.
Yeah.
You ever had a situation like somebody walks in the house and you say something innocuous to your wife or your girlfriend and they just want to pick a fight? Like maybe it's you, maybe it's her. And you're like, I just wanted to know how your day was. And you're like, how did this fight start? We've all had that, right?
Yep.
Like, all Tom Herman said was, listen, I can't come in here and sprinkle, pixie dust on this thing and turn it around. What he's saying is, listen, man, it's going to take some time. Mm-hmm. He followed that up by saying, we're going to work really hard here. It kind of feels like they got an issue.
Absolutely.
That's what it feels like to me. This is a Tom Herman thing.
Yeah, I think it's deeper rooted, and maybe it's their time together at Ohio State, or maybe it's something that's happened in recruiting over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And then Tom Herman's wife comes out on Twitter and says something back, too, and really calls out Urban. That's when I was like, okay, something went down. but Jason, to your point, too, this wasn't about the players, because everything I know a few people close to the program. These players love Tom Herman. It's going to take time. He's not the coach or the type of man, I think, that would just say, listen, I can't wait to get my players in here, And this is more about, he was talking more to the people who have the unrealistic expectation that Texas is back and they're going to win 11 games. They're just not that good yet. They're not as talented. And I think he was speaking to the notion of, listen, this is going to take time, like you said, to build a culture, to build a foundation of winning. And he's not an elite coach yet. He's a good coach. He's not Harbaugh. He's not Urban Meyer. He's a good football coach trying to get his way up there. And I like Tom Herman. Again, I was shocked they lost. I thought Maryland actually was really good. I thought they played better than I expected. But I think Urban Meyer, I think this was a chance that he had a chance to take a dig at him, and he did.
Yeah. What if this guy's is totally different and Urban Meyer was protecting Charlie Strong, the former Texas coach? Urban Meyer and Charlie Strong were tight at Florida. He was his trusted assistant, great defensive coordinator. Charlie Strong had to wait, I believe it was 8 or 9 years. Interviews. People were talking about like his interracial marriage maybe was holding him back. And Urban loves him. What if Urban's protecting Charlie Strong, saying, hey, guys, come on. Let's not trash Charlie Strong. He got a bit of a raw deal at Texas. I know he rebounded quickly. This is a good coach.
Right.
He had a good run at Louisville. Let's not tarnish Charlie Strong.
That's a good point.
And I think Urban could be looking out for his guy.
That's a really good point.
It trumps the point that I was coming back with in terms of, I'm sure Ohio State is recruiting in Texas, and this to me just sounds like the typical stuff that goes on in recruiting. Bash the guy that you're recruiting against.
Jason's point, though, is remember when Charlie got that job at Texas, like a huge booster came out and just said, no, this is a terrible hire. And I guarantee you, they called Urban to ask about Charlie at Texas, and he may have been his #1 advocate. So that's a really good point.
I mean, for Tom Herman to totally take this shot at the players, that seemed out of bounds. Because Charlie did a good job.
He did not. Herman.
You didn't think it was a shot?
No.
Fairy dust?
No,
Pixie dust.
Pixie dust?
Here's what he's saying, though. Again, he has a system that he wants to implement offensively and defensively. They've been recruiting players for a different system.
Yeah.
And to convert them over takes some time. You can't just, now, Harbaugh and Urban Meyer seem to have that ability. They can sprinkle pixie dust. The overwhelming majority can't.
The only concern, too, is now that this is going to be talked about, and I guarantee Tom Herman has addressed this already with the football team, and you just wonder if potentially maybe there's a handful of players be like, man, what if he really thinks we're not good enough? Or, it could create a fracture. I don't think that's the case, again, because I think Tom Herman has got their full respect, but you never know. These comments and Urban Meyer stirring the pot. You never know.